I got a question for you. Is it hard to believe that the Halloween and scare season has already begun? It just started this past weekend with a Spookshow here in Los Angeles, and we have Monsterpalooza coming up in just a couple of days. Plus, a great movie, A Quiet Place, just started this last weekend, and it was amazing. All right, we got a whole lot more for you tonight on the ScareGuys Show.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
And we're going all kinds of retro with this. I love it. All right, welcome to the ScareGuys Show. We have a really great show for you guys tonight. I think it's been about a few weeks since we've been back, but we are now kicking into high gear. The scare season has begun. Halfway to Halloween is only in a few weeks, and we just can't wait to start celebrating. My name is Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Oh, hey,
Jim. Did we change it? We've changed it a little bit.
And I'm stopping. My name's Jim. Hello.
Hey, my name's Kari Lee.
Hi, I'm Keetin. Marchi.
Hi, I'm Derek Sams.
Oh, hi, I'm Cheeseman on the couch. No longer Tommy on the couch.
Oh, yeah. And we have changed things up just a little bit. Sometimes I just get all discombobulated in my head. Welcome, guys. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Again, we are going to talk about Monsterpalooza coming up this coming weekend. We went to Spookshow down at the Halloween Club near Disneyland this past weekend, and then also A Quiet Place is in theaters right now. Most of us have seen it, except for our very special guest who is joining us this week, Keetin, who has not been here before. Thank you, Keetin. Yay!
Thank you guys for having me. I feel like this was such a long time coming, so thank you.
I know
for not giving up.
It only took like 8 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Almost made it to Comic-Con again.
Almost.
I know, yeah, it was Comic-Con when we met you, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Wow.
Even though you kind of host a show just like a few feet from us.
I know. I'm here like one day a week now, sometimes more, and then yeah. So it's just when you get the scheduling right or whatever. I don't know. I'm happy it worked. Like I told you when you messaged me, I was like, you caught me at a great time. Yes, let's do it. I'm not working barely at all in April, so
Perfect time. It just worked out perfectly.
Yes.
We're very glad to have you tonight. And in case you guys haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the ScareGuys Show. Right, just go right below there on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to us there, or if you're listening to us on iTunes, subscribe there as well. And just subscribe to all these cool shows that we have here on the Popcorn Talk Network. Kari, you have a couple of shows. I know we're not supposed to be doing this, but let's just do it.
I have a few.
Yes.
Sunday is box office breakdown, covering what movies came out over the weekend. Star Trek, because we did Discovery, but now we're just doing general Star Trek. Monday's Marvel. I'm taking a break though, but I should be back. Tuesday, tune in tomorrow, horror movie news, as well as AfterBuzz anime reviews. We're talking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Expanse is starting up really soon. Handmaid's Tale and Westworld are starting up soon. And then on Wednesday nights is Timeless and Legion.
You literally do all my favorite shows. I'm like, and now I have to be like, what shows do you watch that I don't watch? Because I most likely will enjoy them, because every other show you listen, I'm like, that's my favorite show. That's my favorite.
I just found out right before the show that you do Legion, which I'm super stoked about. Legion just started last week, and I tell you what, it is quite a mind bender.
Yes.
But it's
in a good way.
Yeah. Last season was a complete mind bender as well. And so let's just go around the table real quick. What do you have going on anything you want to talk about? Anything scary, anything spooky, anything that's been going on, any projects you're working on?
Not scary, but, it was a little while ago.
Or anything.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Next week, I keep saying next week, and I'm like, it's Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm covering the Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles, so tune in on my social media, which we'll talk about later.
That's cool.
So I'm going to be all decked out. It's very exciting. So
What color
Wednesday
is your
through Sunday.
sari?
I actually don't have saris this time.
Oh.
But I have some other traditional attire, which I'm super excited about. And I'm super stoked. I booked my hair appointment on Wednesday and everything. But yeah, that'll be fun, good red carpet. And actually not horror related, but a lot of their films this year are thrillers or mysteries.
Oh, fantastic.
At the festival, so check it out.
Nice. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about that they are working on or is coming up soon?
I have a Star Wars fan film that I'm in. That's hopefully it's right now scheduled to drop on May the 4th.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Hopefully it's been in post for a while, because VFX takes a very long time. But I'm in that film with Leo Camacho, who's my co-host, one of my co-hosts on Disney Movie News. And he's also a big kind of cosplayer guy as well. And then just had a trailer drop for for a horror film I'm in called Sunday Night Slaughters. And
Sunday Night Slaughters.
Sunday Night Slaughters.
What's that about?
What's the log line?
To be honest, I don't really know what it's about. It's a bunch of different like stories that then all kind of come into one. So I know what my story's about. I got to kill Corey Feldman, which was a really cool
Interesting.
Nice.
to act opposite of. And I got to be this like eater of soul. Like I'm this old creature.
And I think we have a picture of you right now.
Corey.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
you.
hi, Corey.
Oh, hi, Corey. Yeah, no, I kill him and I steal his clothes because I figure that's what humans must wear.
Are you wearing a wig or is your hair just blonde?
So I'm a natural blonde. I just went red
Oh, wow.
before Comic-Con last year because I was doing a oh my god, Black Widow cosplay, and now I'm pissed because she's blonde in the new movie.
You're like, damn,
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, debating on dyeing my hair red for like many years, and then I finally was like, I'm gonna do it, and then I did it, and then like 6 months later, ScarJo's blonde and like Black Widow's blonde.
She is actually.
It suits
Oh
you
wait,
very
look
well,
at.
though.
Oh yeah, that's it.
He's
That's
got,
nice.
he's got the one sheet from your film there.
It is, yes. I don't know when it's coming out. We filmed it a while ago, and I got to do some like cool like battle scenes and kill Corey Feldman. So yeah, it was fun. But yeah, so I don't know when that's coming out, but soon. And I'm trying to think, 'cause I have a couple short films coming out as well, but again, I don't know the dates.
Was he a cool guy?
Yeah.
He was a cool guy. Corey is, I feel like, very misunderstood in this industry, and he's a very passionate guy. So sometimes like people like that, I think, come off a little like weird, like you're just like, whoa, you're a little intense, dude. But the more I've interacted with him, the more I'm kind of like, no, that's just Corey, and I don't think he means harm to anybody. I think he's just a really passionate guy, and he really wants the best, and he's had everybody think he was a crazy dude for majority of his life, kind of calling out these people in Hollywood, and it's funny how the tables have turned.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
but yes, he was a fun guy to work with on set. He was very chill. Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything before? Because we're gonna jump into the next item here. in
I'm
a
just
second.
excited to talk about the topics we've got.
Yes.
Because I did finally get caught up on Walking Dead today, and I saw A Quiet Place.
I know.
Yay!
For the record, Derek is not what you would call a great big horror aficionado.
No, but I appreciate good storytelling.
Yes.
It's kind of like, I don't really like rap music, but Eminem is a great lyricist.
Oh my God, I feel the same way.
Okay. So that's how I approach horror. I mean, like, if it's well done, I can appreciate it, even whether I really have fun watching it or not. But I actually even had a good time watching this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And anything with Cheeseman on the couch?
No.
All right. Hey, Keetin.
Hi.
Tell you what, and Anthony, we have a couple of photos, if you don't mind going through them. Why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience? I know a lot of people probably already know you, but just kind of give us a little bit about your background.
Cool. So I am Keetin Marchi. I've been a host here at AfterBuzz for like 6 years now. Yeah, it's been here since the
half your
very
lifetime.
beginning, half my lifetime. Yes, basically. I'm a host. I'm an actress. I do a lot of creature modeling. I originally worked behind the scenes in camera for film and TV, and I worked on the show sci-fi show Face Off, and that's kind of how I met a bunch of incredible kind of creature and special effects makeup artists who then started using me as their model and kind of getting me into that side of the industry, which I love because I like you. I'm not a huge horror fan myself, watching, because I'm too. I feel like I feel everything that I see happening to people like on screen, so I just internalize it too much.
That's a good human trait, by the way.
It's not bad.
Empathy is not a bad thing.
No, but I love gore makeup. I love being turned into an alien or a crazy witch creature or anything like that, because I always get, I walk into the room and I very quickly get pinned or cast as, like, especially when I was blonde, like Barbie or Girl Next Door or whatever. And so when I can be completely unrecognizable as a character, it is the most fun and freeing.
That's cool.
So that's my favorite stuff to do. I mean,
and we just had a couple of pictures.
I should.
Can we show the?
And she can really scare Jim, I'm sure.
Oh my
I
gosh!
should just have
With one of these.
So
things.
this incredible makeup was done by Nico Gonzalez and Kat Passion. They were both contestants on Face Off. I think they've been on twice on 2 different seasons. But this is called the Exo Bride, and this is a creature. I call it the female predator.
Yeah.
That
looks great.
That makeup took a very That's not the longest makeup I ever did. The longest makeup I did, I was in the chair for 7 hours.
Wow.
That was a full body Poison Ivy thing that I did for WonderCon a couple years back. But that took about we've done that makeup a few times. It's gotten shorter every time, but that was at the longest probably 5.5 hours. But there's prosthetics here, obviously a brow piece, a chin piece, and then that whole cowl came over my head and was all attached. So once it was on me, and I could not go to the bathroom for as long as I was in the creature costume. So it was a very kind of learning to balance how much water I could drink to not become dehydrated or get a really bad headache, but also I could not go to the bathroom for however many hours.
And I think we got a couple more. And what's this one?
Oh, so this one, Jamie, who I know has been, Jamie Avera.
Jamie Avera's been on the show here.
Been on the show. Another great creature and special effects makeup guy. We're lucky enough to work with Matt Silva, who is also a Face Off alum who works for Blue Whale Makeup, and they create a lot of the armor and stuff for different Marvel movies and video game kind of costumes and stuff. And so they created these gears of war. Armor, and they needed some people to wear them here in LA, and then they ended up using us a lot on the West Coast because the armor that they made for the models and stuff, it clipped in and it had to fit you exactly. So yeah, it was cool. But that armor was so heavy. And afterwards, Jamie and I were so sore after a day of walking around in that stuff because it's just it just feels like you have 40 pounds just strapped to your chest and your back. The guns were weighed less than what was on our backs and stuff. But yeah, that was super fun.
And then a really cool, I think, an alien is the.
So this is I did this. This is Rachel Wagner, who is also Face Off alum, and Kat Passion actually worked on this too. This is for a. I don't know if you ever saw I think it was the God documentary that Morgan Freeman kind of was the host of. I think it was on either Travel or
Morgan Freeman narrating God's voice.
Yeah, I know, right? What?
Again?
Conversations with God. Morgan Freeman.
This was a cool day because they did 3 or 4 makeups on us, and they just we had to be just different types of demons, and they just shot a lot of stock footage of us kind of being creepy and crazy and doing different things so that they could throw it in the documentary while he's talking about different things about the rapture and hell and stuff. So this was one of them, and I was I look like Voldemort.
Yeah,
It's pretty great.
Voldemort got turned into a vampire.
Exactly.
With a
Yeah, no,
nose.
when I didn't have the teeth in and before they painted the stubble and stuff, I just looked straight up like Voldemort, and we were all cracking up back in the makeup room. But
so how many? You say you did multiple costumes this day. How long did it take to get into this costume? Because that looks pretty elaborate.
yeah, I mean that was probably a 2 or 3 hour makeup, probably
Okay.
2 hour. Because I mean they just put the bald cap on me, and it's not because they were only shooting me from the front and sides. They didn't have to be super clean about it. So that obviously makes the time a lot shorter.
And I think
but
that's
yeah.
all the only other picture we have is of you and Corey.
Me and Corey.
You and Corey right there.
Yeah,
and
that's my
and this
buddy.
was for the movie that we were
Yes.
just talking about.
Yes.
But you did send us quite a few photos, and we're going to put your gallery up on the website so
Oh,
folks can take a look at that.
awesome.
Because
Cool.
there we go. It's really cool. Because you also, there's a picture of you. You were on Survivor. You were doing.
Yeah, so my first job out of college was I tested challenges for Survivor. So they called us the Dream Team.
Yeah.
And
How do you I volunteer as tribute?
Yeah, basically, no. It was such a complicated process. I was on a reality TV show when I was 14. That was kind of a kid version of Survivor. It was called Endurance, and always been a big fan of Survivor. And then I went to film school, and always thought, I should apply to be on Survivor. But then another girl who was on the same kids show as I was like, hey, I worked on Survivor. And I was like, that's a great way for me to burst into the industry. Like thinking, oh, easy, get a job on Survivor. Not an easy thing to get a job for. I had to make like an application video, and like I filmed myself on green screen, like, and made it look like Jeff Probst was interviewing me at tribal council for the job. And then I like put
That's clever.
Yeah. No, I was like, I have to stand out because I didn't know anybody in LA. I didn't know anybody in this industry. My family, I was the crazy one in my family that's like, bye, I'm moving to Los Angeles, parents. And they're like, oh God, please come back. It's been 6 years. I haven't come back, so I don't know if I'm gonna come back. But yeah, testing challenges on Survivor was super fun. I still work sometimes with Survivor. I do wardrobe prep with them, and sometimes work with the cast and getting them out to location and stuff. So. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight. You're kind of like our expert for Monsterpalooza that we're going to be talking about here in just a few minutes. But first of all, Derek, would you mind? We have a lot of events. It's page 2. Yeah. We have a lot of events that are coming up as far as conventions and haunted events, and there's even a cool UFO one that's coming up, which I'm super interested in. If you can go ahead and these are some of the events that are coming up that you guys can take part in.
So first off, as we just mentioned, Monsterpalooza is April 13th through 15th in Pasadena. And then Texas Frightmare Weekend is May 4th through 6th in Dallas, Texas. And then after that, we get into June. Contact in the Desert is in Indian Wells, California, June 1st through 4th. And then ScareGuys New England is June 15th through 17th in Framingham, Massachusetts. And then Midsummer Scream is July 28th to 29th in Long Beach, and Scare LA is August 25th and 26th at the LA Convention Center. And finally, we get to September, Scarefest Horror and Paranormal Convention, September 14th through 16th in Lexington, Kentucky. And right around that time of year is when we're going to hit all the big Halloween festivals and
there's a lot of things coming
scary.
up. Yeah, and there's actually a whole lot of conventions coming up. They're not all on our list here. And what were you going to say, Kari?
No, way in advance. So the dance show I did at Christmas time, we're doing a Halloween show.
So oh, yeah?
Oh.
Get ready for October.
Nice.
We'll have a sexy, scary Halloween dance show.
Oh. Do you do burlesque?
It's like, it's kind of on the PG-13 side of burlesque, but other people, when they do solos, maybe there's a little more variety, but like group pieces, that's the easiest way to explain it to people. Because it's not like a typical, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a dance routine and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be in October.
I love
Halloween
burlesque.
themed?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fantastic.
We're still working on like some of the concepts, but I'm like, yes. Everyone's all excited. They're like, what? Yeah.
In
please.
just a few weeks, we hit halfway to Halloween.
Woohoo!
Right?
Yes, that's it. In about in about 3 weeks, halfway to Halloween, April 30th. And there's what's kind of cool. You're familiar with Shudder, right?
Yes.
Shudder is doing a they're doing a month-long celebration of halfway to Halloween. Isn't that kind of cool? And it's actually a free month of Shudder, but as you said,
nice.
They almost always have a free month going on.
Most services, you can do a week or a month.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. They kicked it off this past week with the movie. What's the movie? Mayhem.
It's really good.
Did you see it?
Yeah, Tony in the booth seen it too.
We actually, if I can take over real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Tony in the booth. We actually had the director Joe Lynch come in, and we interviewed him for all that, and it was a fun stuff. Check it out on the Horror Movie News channel or playlist.
Do you know how long ago that was?
Ooh, that was like
it was
our first interview. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it was definitely last year.
Yeah.
In October.
But we had like a screener link for the film and got to watch it.
Nice.
It's like really good. It's very gory and violent, but it's just such a fun time.
And it stars everybody's favorite
Oh, he's great.
character from The Walking Dead, Stephen. How do you say
Young.
his Young?
I think it's just Yun.
Young.
That's the guy who got his bash.
Also,
his
the
head
girl,
obliterated down to a
great.
little.
Did you guys see The Babysitter on Netflix?
Yeah.
We did.
The girl from that.
Samara Weaving is
She's
fantastic in that
She's
as
good.
well.
She does kind of look like Margot Robbie, just a little bit.
Very similar.
Well, speaking of Halloween, we have 6.5 months till Halloween, so we are kind of entering the Halloween season. And one of the first announcements to come out about Halloween is from Universal Studios, Halloween Horror Nights. Did you guys hear about it?
Well, from your post.
Oh, what is
I
it?
did. They're gonna do a Stranger Things maze.
Yes, the very first maze, Stranger Things, the Upside Down, and then.
It makes me wonder if I could stand to go to Halloween Horror Nights again for that.
Yes, yeah, you got to
Wait,
go.
why?
Yeah,
Were
it's just-
you too
yes.
scared the first
Well,
time?
no, I went the first time and I had a good time, but I don't always enjoy being scared a lot.
He giggles.
Okay, and here's the thing: when I get
He's
scared,
a puncher.
No,
you're the puncher?
No, I'm not a puncher. I'm a giggler. When something jumps out and scares me, I start laughing, and I can't control it. And then like, so I was going through these mazes with this huge grin on my face, and I would see the actors like looking over something ahead of time before I actually got to that part, and it looked like I was making eye contact and just smiling at them. Oh, scare this person who's with me. And so they go after like our friends who were there even more. But that wasn't my intent. I was just kind of like smiling because I couldn't stop, and then just like, oh, hi.
I curse at them. I like walk through it. I'm like, I see you. Don't you effing no. And then they're like, wait until I think I'm okay, and then they come at me.
What happened?
Oh, I'm smiling. I love it the whole time. I was in Not Scary Farm for 3 years.
Because
So
Kari,
I love
both
it.
you and Keetin have both been scare actors, I guess they call them, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you? Which one
I
did you
was
work at?
in the Dusk Till Dawn maze. I was
Nice.
Santaniko, but I was her after she turned into creature crazy vampire.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I got like prosthetics, contacts, teeth, hair. Basically, they didn't really give me any other wardrobe, so I went in for my wardrobe fitting, and they just handed me a black bikini, and I was like, "For real? Like this is it?" And they're like, yeah, I wore like they gave me like this bodysuit that like was painted kind of like a snake skin, but it was kind of like the mesh one, so it really wasn't anything.
Must have been cold.
So it was great when it was like super hot, which it is very, very hot for a
can be
while.
hot,
But then when it was cold, it was miserable because
Kari,
we were naked.
What did you?
Yeah, what were you?
What were you?
I did Club Blood. I was a vampire for 3
Wait,
years
and
at
looks like
Not
she's-
Scary Farm, and I'm wearing my Club Blood t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also had generally relatively small little dress outfits, but we were inside the maze, so it didn't matter. Like the temperature was relatively warm most of the time.
Did you
but
guys have
could-
air conditioning in your mazes?
No.
Okay, we
But
didn't
some of
either.
them had open air on certain
Okay,
parts
that's
too. Depends where. And then you could wear tights too. Like the dress was the piece they gave you, and then what tights and shoes and whatever if you wanted to wear gloves was your choice.
Oh, see,
So if
like
you wanted to get
Universal,
more-
they were very strict about like, this is your costume. If these shoes you don't like, we'll find you different shoes, type of thing.
So are you guys, speaking of Universal, are you surprised that they got Stranger Things so... That's such a giant IP.
It is. I mean, I think it's so smart because
It's super smart.
It's hot still.
Well, they got to
It's
put the
super
kids
hot.
in there before they grow up
Yep.
too much, you know. They're going to have the
Yeah.
actual kids in there, right?
Did you see the advertisement they
I
had?
wish.
The little
Just like
video
they
they had
had-
advertising
It was really cool, yeah.
the bicycle with the light flashing and it slowly turned upside down into the
course.
upside down. That was so great.
Yeah.
I'm really super excited about that one. This is what I have just been watching Haunters, The Art of the Scare. The guys were at the Spookshow this weekend, which we'll jump into in here in a second. But let's go ahead and jump into Spookshow. The Haunters thing was there, and I didn't know that Knott's Berry was the very first of the large theme parks that had a haunted
Thing? Oh,
that's
haunted
rad.
transformation back in is it the 70s?
What?
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
Yeah, so it was crazy. I didn't know that. It wasn't Universal, it wasn't Disney, it was Knott's Berry.
They've had it multiple years, but if you go to Not Scary Farm, right next to the old schoolhouse in the Wild West area, there's like a little area, and they've always had like a mini museum of photos of the over the years.
That's really cool.
That's really
I
cool.
need to peek your head in there and be like, oh, cool.
Last year was my first year. Kari took us in, and it was pretty great. It was awesome. I can't wait to go back this year. Hey, another thing to as we jump off of our news here, this weekend is Friday the 13th. We do have the movie opening up. Truth or Dare is opening up, which is from Blumhouse. We don't know how that's going to do. It kind of looks interesting.
Truth or Dare.
Yeah, Blumhouse has a.
I feel it has potential. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
either
a
gonna be
cool
really
idea.
cool or it's going to be meh.
Yeah.
They do the weird smile thing too when they get scared.
Yeah, that was freaking me out. So I'm kind of excited about that. Also, this weekend, this is kind of cool. I just found this out this past week. You know, all the haunted attractions all across the company, all across the country, almost in every 50 state, they opened up special this Christmas. They have a special Christmas versions of. They're all opening up again this weekend. So this weekend, Friday the 13th, is a special haunted attractions across the country event this weekend.
Interesting.
Go to our website. You can find it, or was it Coaster? I have it written down here. There's a website that has every state listed. And I'll find it in just a second. But I had never heard of this. So that is why I thought it was not too soon to say the scare season has officially begun.
Yeah.
Scare season has begun.
Wouldn't you say that maybe the scare season is all year long?
I
know,
never
right?
realized
Literally,
that.
kind of like
Disney,
convention
Disney
season.
helps
Yeah.
bring it through Christmas because they turn the Haunted
Yep.
Mansion into Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm just like, it's
Fifth-
just kind of is part of life now.
You know, it's the 15th anniversary of that attraction this year. It's the 25th anniversary of the Nightmare Before Christmas Christmas. I'm all flubbed up right here tonight. And
You're just that excited.
last thing before we jump into the Spook Show. A Quiet Place opened to $50 million this weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it in just a second, but they were saying it last year, and it was CNN has a big article about it today. It's this renaissance of horror films. They think that horror is just back. They were wondering if last year was a fluke, if we just had some good, we had Get Out, we had It, we had some really good films last year. But this is showing that it looks like, we have this. We have Halloween coming up this year, the original. I'm so excited about that.
We
have
got another Predators film.
Yeah, another Predators film. Yeah. And did you guys see the trailer for Meg that dropped today? The giant shark film?
I saw the picture.
Like Megalodon.
I
was like, Meg. I feel like I saw something on Instagram about it.
I didn't realize that trailer was out. Okay.
I didn't see the trailer, but I saw an image.
It just dropped today, and it is.
I'll have to check that out.
It's pretty creepy. All right, so Cheeseman, what was the event we went to this weekend?
Well, we went to the Spook Show at Halloween Club.
Yep.
Which is basically.
It's a gigantic warehouse of Halloween goodness. Have you guys been down to the Halloween Club? There's two of them.
Tell us about it, Jim.
No, there was like 15 aisles, and they were as far as the eye could see, and I have never seen a Halloween store
I'd never
this
seen
big.
a Halloween store that big. And everything was 40% off with a coupon.
Sweet.
So,
The coupon much they handed you as you walked in the door. So,
All right.
and they had like sessions and panels. Like they had the Haunter, the filmmakers who did The Haunters, The Art of the Scare. They were there doing the panel. We talked to them. They're gonna hopefully come on our show, which will be kind of cool. Yeah. And then they had panels on ghost stories and things. But I thought it was just inside the warehouse. But then we go showing up, and then there's nowhere to park for it seems miles. It seemed like, and then
it's like a whole festival going on.
Gigantic festival, yeah.
All these booths, a lot more than I thought there would be. Just different things you could buy, and then they had live music as well.
That was pretty
Which
cool.
somebody danced to.
Yeah.
Which I was dressed like Michael, and I got the dance.
Yeah, check out our Instagram for the Scare Guy. You'll see Michael dancing to the music. We should have shown that video tonight, but we do have another video, Anthony. If you don't mind showing, Michael, which is Cheeseman on the Couch.
He was quite popular.
He was quite popular. And there, look it's Jamie Lee Curtis and the Hanger, and then the guy in the sheet getting killed. Why don't you walk us through this, Cheeseman?
Yep, and then Jason Voorhees catching up with an old
BFF.
friend,
Yep.
giving him a little hug here. Some scary bird.
He composes music, though.
Some zombies.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a family shot there. Yeah,
And Michael and Death, his best friend.
how appropriately.
Very much so.
Look at
And Michael and a super fan with a tattoo of my face.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some clown thing hanging out with its top of its
I
head
don't
cut
like
off.
that one bit.
Yeah.
Michael and the Devil. There you go.
And the devil.
Best friends.
Kind of like a Twilight Zone devil. And then
Slash.
Aw.
look at that.
Your Uncle Michael there. That was the mayor of the Spook Show.
That's cool.
Just some death thing. I don't know
A
what
skull
that
head. And then
Hatbox Ghost.
there it is.
is. That's a great one there. And then
Oh.
Then with my little finger puppet of my head right there.
some crazy.
It's a little latex head, which is
That's
really
like
cool.
a furry right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Which
that's
is very
And he actually bought.
Yeah, I actually
speaking
bought
of
the shark teeth that I saw there.
And
then
this
there's
is
guys.
the crew that made the documentary, The Art of the Scare, Haunters, The Art of the Scare. Hopefully we'll have them on the show. It's a really interesting documentary. And I think
There I am in
Oh, that's
front
a
of the
great
store.
photo.
Yeah.
Michael takes
Club.
on
It
the
could have been the
Halloween Club.
promotion.
Hi.
The thing that
people
was
to come
cool about the Halloween Club, some friends told us about it. I signed up for it 3 or 4 months ago, and I thought it was just a shopping event. Oh, cool, we get to.
And half the distance.
I didn't know.
Originally.
It was quite a
There's
drive.
2 stores.
Yeah,
it was the one closer to Anaheim.
We are based here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, and for us, driving more than 10 miles is just so
There is traffic on
torturous.
weekends.
It's asking a lot.
And the 5 is just the worst of the worst. And so we're driving down, and there's the Halloween Club. I'm like, there it is, we're there. And then we call oh no, there's a second one. It's 20 more miles down the road. I'm like, geez, I almost turned around at that point, but I'm glad I did not. Scare LA was there. Some other conventions. Scare LA, Descent into Darkness is their theme this year. I'm hoping I'm allowed to say they're taking over the LA Convention Center, and it's going to be all dark this year. All the lights are off, in the entire convention, and every booth has its own special dark lighting. So they're turning the whole thing into. It's going to be a night.
Sounds very
Quite a move.
They're turning it into Halloween night, is what they're doing. It's going to be.
I wonder if it's going to be hard to like buy things because.
Yeah.
No, there will be lights,
Yeah.
but there'll be like black lights and orange lights and stuff.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's meant to create a really creepy feeling. And I sure hope I'm allowed to have said that.
It's
But
gonna be really creepy when you see all those stains exposed on other people's.
all
All
those
the
black
drool
lights.
on the side of their face.
And then Midsummer Scream was there promoting their convention. And Derek already went over all the things. Is there any other? I mean, we're gonna jump off this real quick.
There's like people there that like made custom masks, which were pretty cool.
Oh, I know, I
And
love
then
that.
They had like a tiki kind of Halloween kind of area, all sorts of booths and vendors of different things. But
Did you guys get inspired about what you're going to be for Halloween this year?
can I do like a Tommy Wiseau mashup?
No, he's doing Tommy Wiseau right there.
Dead Tommy, zombie
Zombie
Tom.
Tommy!
Yeah, exactly.
Done.
But
You're
That's what I
welcome.
should do.
all I know is I was pleasantly surprised at the size and scope of this thing. This is the year 6 they've done it, and from what we were talking to some folks there, it's never been this big. It was just and it's because the Halloween industry itself has grown from like in 10 years it's like doubled up to. I had some figures. It's like down here somewhere like $13 to $20 billion. Wow, it's grown from like a $6 billion like 10 years ago. I've heard some people talk about it's because adults have kind of taken over Halloween and made it almost more of an adult holiday, and the kids have almost been left behind. But that's not completely true. But it's adults make it a year-round holiday now.
Yes.
And this is kind of a. I think we've always had adult parties, but this whole. It's like this industry, the Halloween industry has just turned into this thing, along with like Comic-Cons and things. It's just like it exploded in
Yeah,
like
the
in
theme
5
parks,
years.
people are going to be like, here's my money, I'll pay $60,
Yeah.
$70, $80, $90 to go see the theme park and scare me.
Yeah.
People talk about extended adolescence with this
Yeah.
generation of adults, but there are a lot of just things like that that are just fun to still enjoy as an adult, and I think our generation has embraced it in a way.
Yep. I know.
We're making
we
it
like to dress up.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if we want to go get a cat suit and dress up like Black Widow for some event, it's fine, and like
Yep.
because there's a community of people that are all doing it too, and and it's like it's a lot of a judgment-free zone, which is what I really love. As scary as like the Halloween community might seem from the outside, some of the nicest people are within this community, and they are so welcoming. If you're just like, no, that's awesome, they're like, awesome, like come on, like they're so not like you can't be a part of it, like you can't sit with us, like they're not like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't charge for pictures, unlike Hollywood Boulevard or.
Oh yeah.
There are those.
And
are
they're so
some, but
much
not-
better. So much
Yeah.
better.
So it's a lot of fun. People are into it, and it's great.
Is there anything else? I think we're going to jump off of Spookshow. Again, there's not a lot to say. It's like it was just a kick-ass show. It was great, and I'm
a quiet place.
yes. So $50 million this past weekend.
Yeah, top of the box office this weekend.
Top of the box office. Let's go ahead.
$17 million budget, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah. How much?
$17 million budget.
$17 million budget.
So they,
All right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're going to talk a few minutes with no spoilers,
Jim
but then
Halpert
we
is
will
amazing
warn you
director.
guys that we will have some spoilers, but we'll give you the warning. Derek,
Yes.
what'd you think?
Should I begin?
Yes.
I think it's very alarming to see what has happened to Jim and Pam since they left Dunder Mifflin. Yeah. Just kidding. It's not actually about The Office. But yeah, okay, for one, we just said John Krasinski
Jim's
has
twice
done
as
some
big as he used to be.
Yeah. He's done some amazing things. I mean,
Yeah.
he was in 13 Hours and you saw him in like really great shape. And
Giant.
he's playing Jack Ryan on this
Yep.
streaming show now. And now he put out this movie. Besides the fact that just marrying someone like Emily Blunt was a great accomplishment.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
You go, Jim.
Good job. You say he put out this movie, meaning?
Well, he directed it and he co-wrote it.
Yep.
And of course starred in it with his wife, which is just cool. It's cool to see those two in a movie together now.
I think
And
that's
then-
crazy to
yeah.
you have to direct your wife in a movie. That's crazy all by itself, but good for him.
But
Good
he
for
was
her.
probably like, I don't know if there's a sex scene in it, but he's probably like, I'm not there yet as a director, so I'll play your love interest.
But
oh yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment. The cast all around was great. The young actors were really
kids were
good.
great.
And what's the girl's name? Millicent. Um,
we had it on my other shirt.
I forget her last name, but she actually is hearing impaired in real life, and she was playing this deaf girl, and that
I did not know that until I stayed after we were at the ArcLight and I saw it, and I almost got tears in my eyes. I was like, "That's so awesome! She
it
did
was so
such a good job."
The kids were all incredible
Real
performers.
quick, it's Millicent Simmons.
Millicent Simmons, thank you. I was
Thank
going to look it up. I'm so glad you're there, Tony in the booth.
I'm glad you're there, Derek.
Oh, thanks.
Sure.
Carrie, what were you gonna say?
I really liked it. I don't. We were talking about it on box office. I'm like, I don't know if I love horror movies, so I wouldn't put it in the category of scary. But it made me tense a lot. Like you're sitting there like, oh no, get there quicker! Ah, you're
Like
just,
Dunkirk, like you're literally on the edge of your seat the
more like
entire
Prison Break.
time.
Can you get back in
can't
time, and are you gonna get killed?
yeah.
breathe. Okay.
Like you're just like, but some of the jump scares were good too. It's very quiet movie in general. Like I'm sitting there eating my popcorn and I stopped.
I know.
It was
Everybody,
very hard to eat during that movie.
Everybody
I
can
will
hear
say
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very difficult. Like you're eating a piece of popcorn. It's like
I like the basic drop you in that world with like hints of the world building without too much, and it's like good that you're like don't make a sequel or anything because it like ends well too. That you're like yes.
We'll avoid spoilers for now,
Yeah,
but yeah,
no,
the
but-
ending is just it's
Good,
all that
yeah.
you need.
It's great because too many movies like either give you too much or way too little, but this one they have like little tidbits. Yeah, the kids were great and definitely a good one to check out.
So can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
So it's not gory.
There's
No.
okay. There's a very little bit
not
of
overly
believe you
gory.
people.
It's not.
there's a very little bit of
It's not
gore
gory,
in
yeah.
like
Yeah.
No, because
one
it's,
scene, I think. But
you don't see the gore happen. It's more you see the aftermath. Like you don't see somebody like for example, you don't see someone get disemboweled, but maybe you saw the body on the ground.
the fact that you asked me that, and
It's
I
so
could,
quick.
It's not gory.
Okay.
yeah, I don't think it's
not
great.
gory.
I
No.
couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were all
Cheeseman,
like,
and real quick before our spoilery discussion, what did you think?
Great cast. It didn't feel like too long or it was dragging. Like sometimes movies like plots, but it was engaging the whole time, and yeah, had a little Signs vibe
All right.
a little bit.
It felt
I love
it's
Signs.
somewhat like Signs. I would argue
Yeah.
Signs is a better movie, but still.
I will
Yeah.
say there's a couple things where like when you know everything later, you're like. Not like plot holes, but you're like, well, hey, if I knew A, I would
Yep.
totally do B. But
Let's-
besides that, it wasn't bothersome to watch.
Right.
But like you're thinking about it later, going,
Yep, I did too.
My opinion was like in all scary movies, you always have characters doing stupid things. In this,
they weren't stupid.
not really. They
Yeah.
would do some mistakes, but they were still kind of human.
Yes.
Which we'll complain about that a little bit in the when we have a
Yeah.
spoilery discussion. But there were the
30
few,
seconds to spoilers.
Yes, the few mistakes they made, I was more like, okay, I don't like that they did this. They should have known better. But that's still very human and believable that
Yes.
someone would make that mistake.
I do have to say this though. My one, and I can talk about this in the spoilers section, but there is one particular scene that was so well done, so well crafted, and so intense. It just was so anxiety ridden, and it was probably we're all thinking about this. It's the bathtub scene that
Oh yeah.
I was just like I was like I can't.
We're not spoiling anything by saying there's a bathtub in a horror movie.
There's a
'cause
bathtub.
we don't have a
It's
bathtub.
in the trailer.
Every
Yeah,
horror.
Yeah, you see the
Yeah.
bathtub in the
It's in
trailer
the
too.
trailer.
It's
Yeah.
in the trailer.
But
There's-
yeah, no, how they do that is great.
Good Lord, that scene just like was
Yeah.
terrible.
Monsters were good too.
Yes.
They were
Yeah.
creepy
Yeah.
and weird, and you got to see them enough and not too much.
All
I
right.
wish there were more like practical effects.
I do too. I do
Yeah.
too. 5. We're gonna go into spoilers in 4, 3, 2. You've been warned. 1.
Spoiler alert!
I gotta go, guys.
Spoiler alert!
All right, let's
Spoiler
Earmuffs.
alert!
let's talk a little bit.
Spoiler alert!
All right.
Okay,
Go
but
at
you
it.
can cover your ears or something if you want to. We
You
don't
know
want to ruin
what?
it
I
for
feel
you.
like this movie's gonna scare the crap out of me,
Okay.
regardless of what I know.
Well, I don't think it's gonna spoil it per se. Okay, like one complaint is like, okay, waterfall makes a lot of noise. Why don't you live next to the
He was
Waterfall.
saying the
Next to the
same.
waterfall.
Luke was saying the same thing.
Well, that was Brad
Oh,
who was
Brad
watching.
was saying that. I'm
like-
so sorry.
Yeah.
But I was wondering too, like it's like you're just now telling the kids this or something. Like it just seemed like as soon as you find something out like that,
Yeah.
you'd be
It should be
telling them.
instant.
Yes.
At
Yeah.
the very beginning, you were leaving the kids unattended so
A
much.
lot.
If you're in a situation that's that dangerous, you don't let your youngest child walk in the back of the line.
Yes.
That's,
Okay,
it's
can-
behind the other child who can't
Yeah.
hear.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And spoiler
That's
alert.
in the trailer too.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah, but
I
it
gotta
just- that
give
bugs
this.
me.
I'm not gonna tell you who, but I gotta give the movie props for you know what?
Killing a kid.
Killing a
Very
kid.
70s
Yeah.
again.
Killing the cutest kid I've seen on film in
the beginning
quite
of the
some
They
time.
pulled an it.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
Yep.
Yes.
What?
And handled in a very emotional.
It was good. I mean, how everybody handles guilt too.
Yes.
Because it's one of those. It is kind of somebody's fault, but it's a lot of things together.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
It's
really
not
nervous
like,
they're gonna do that on Stranger Things.
Oh,
they're
it
gonna kill a kid.
I think they will.
They'll kill a kid.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, they already killed Barb.
Contract
Yeah.
negotiations.
Technically a child.
But the main kids are unkillables, I'm sure.
But this one.
We'll
so
see.
Yeah.
If they killed
here's what I
Yeah.
have a problem.
Unless their parents want too much money.
By the way, if you ever fall into a silo full of corn,
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
no,
yeah.
you will immediately die because there's no oxygen in those things.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, you'll get
I,
suffocated.
yes, I grew up
Well,
in the Midwest.
it's like-
I don't know why they didn't suffocate.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, it's like not so long
Spoiler.
that they're
sorry.
hold your breath of like it's like quicksand.
It is, yeah. If
Yeah.
you get pulled in and
but
that's when you
they're long
suffocate, but not
enough
on.
that they, if it had been like 10 minutes, it was
But there's
like 30
there's no
seconds.
oxygen in the
Yeah.
in the.
Oh,
there.
in the whole thing. Well,
No,
no,
but
Until-
there was an
open.
air hole in
Yeah.
it. 'cause
No,
it-
but the air can't come down because of the corn. That we were always warned, don't fall in there because the oxygen maybe
whole
right at the
thing?
yeah
You climbed up one of those?
yeah
Why?
well
No, I was raised
you're
the
told
same
not
way.
to.
We were told do not climb up there. 'Cause my
maybe I'm
grandpa's
wrong,
a
but
farmer. Yeah.
I'll have to look that up because that was but
okay.
because I
Interesting.
thought
But
we would
I
die
think it's that I don't think that it's completely. I think it's that because of like the air or whatever, you'll get sucked under
Maybe.
and then suffocate because of whatever air pressure is within the silo.
I'm going
It's
to
a
look this
little
up
more on
Because
that.
Yeah.
that was kind of happening.
Yes.
Until they were
But that is interesting. But those of us who have never been near one,
Most people don't
that's
know.
not what I thought of.
yeah who's gonna think about
Yeah,
that
The reason
exactly.
you
I was
want
raised in
to-
farmland
The reason you'd want to is because of DuckTales and going to McDonald's and jumping in the
so
balls. And all
I do have
that.
to
Yeah.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you? And we don't have to be completely spoilery about it, but the
Yeah.
resolution with what the weakness of the creatures was.
I dug it.
I
Yes.
love that.
It
Yes.
and
Loved it.
Although I would think somebody could have figured out something like that
The
sooner.
thing is, they don't have communication.
True.
Because it's like
They have fires.
these people
But-
could know they were gone.
I know that last
Yeah.
night they were. I was
Because
so
this
sad.
person over here could figure that out, but how do you let the other people
Yeah.
know?
But more like at the very beginning, when we first see the family, it's 89 days in.
Yeah.
And you think, okay,
Nobody's
the
figured it
creatures
out
are
yet.
hypersensitive to sound, so how come nobody in like the government defense systems have tried to like, yes?
Do you have a
Question.
Yeah.
So is this like an alien invasion type of situation?
We're pretty sure.
They don't like the only information you really get is there's a wall of newspaper articles that you get glimpses at.
Which is another thing. How are any newspapers printing
How
anything?
were they publishing? Yeah.
Well, this is
I
like
think
at
that
the
was
beginning,
eight-
probably the
sorry.
first
Maybe.
like 10 days.
They didn't make any
I did
noise
see
when
that
they
theory
printed
online.
it.
Before the creatures had spread to everywhere,
Laser
maybe they
print.
just
Yeah.
Laser.
with the beds.
Yeah, it's probably aliens.
Okay,
I think
that's
it's
cool.
I think it's probably aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So it's like it's a little Cloverfield.
Yeah, it
Well,
had the
Yeah.
Cloverfield
Well,
monster.
this
kinda
I
look.
read today. This was originally considered as a Cloverfield sequel.
Oh, I kind of like that it was its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it is not a Cloverfield sequel.
Right.
Speaking of Clover, what did you guys think of Paradox?
Eh.
I didn't get to.
I enjoyed it.
Trash.
It was a fun
it was
ride,
entertaining
but
to watch.
too many plot holes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It was
I
probably,
just had
Alright, we
it was
got
probably
to
smart that it
probably-
was
yeah.
direct to streaming.
So because we do want to give at least a couple minutes here to Monsterpalooza, let's wrap up this discussion. Any closing thoughts on this? We've complained about a few things, but
Yeah.
would you
They're
recommend it?
minimal. Yeah,
Yeah, those
totally
are
would
little
recommend
things.
it. Yeah.
I definitely recommend it. Great suspense, great great way to do visual storytelling, and it was
Yes.
still very emotional. And my sister said like all of his actions reminded her of our brother because it would be what he'd be doing with his family. Because my brother is all about like learning
Be
to
a
live off the
doomsday
grid.
prepper?
And kind of, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm kind of an outsider. I didn't love it. Like I liked it, but like seeing signs and knowing writing, I don't know. I'm a little.
You would have
hard
just thrown
on-
water on the aliens and.
Well,
What
it's like-
bugged you? What,
I don't-
some things
well, I
bugged
wanted
you.
to know more about like the people because we saw there's other people living there, like kind of having those like town of people kind of being quiet and weird, kind of have a little more of the M Night kind of thing. We only
Or a
see
little
people
more like the Mist. Like have people
Yeah.
gather because some
Yeah,
people
like-
comparing it to that, and I'm like, no.
I think
I'd be
perhaps.
curious
I
if
think
there
it could
is
have
some
been
underground
stronger.
people in like New York or something like in the
I
underground.
wonder if that was deliberate though to add to the feeling of
Isolation.
isolation. Yeah.
and there wasn't really much reference to the past. Like in Signs, there's that great moment of like talking about this is the moment you were born, this kind of thing to kind of like calm the kids down or do something. It felt like if they would have grabbed some more personal stuff from the past, you would have felt kind of the contrast of her life before and after, where it just seemed almost like they lived in this world like almost their entire lives, because it just didn't seem like they,
Makes sense.
besides the photographs, really
Yeah, you do see the
life
house
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it worked for it to be just a very contained story, and as far as time and space in this little place for this period of time, and that's the action we're seeing.
The sand too. That's the other thing.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right?
God,
It's
you're
a lot of
killing me right
sand.
now.
I cannot wait to see this movie.
You'll
you guys have
enjoy
sold
it.
me on it.
Okay, and I'm not going to say who, but somebody in our group said there was a little bit too much crying.
I said that.
Okay, I outed you.
Well, Emily Blunt loves to cry in her movies.
Oh, boy,
She
it was
cries
still
all the
There's kind of
time.
an arc to emotion in like good films where it felt like a lot of this was too much like.
But there is a scene. Okay, the scene.
I disagree.
Can I just set up the
Please,
bathtub
no,
scene?
you honestly can
Without
tell me
telling you,
anything.
I'm not going to tell you how it ends.
Okay.
So there's these monsters can hear anything that's out of the ordinary, just like everyday, like the white noise of living. So everybody's gone. She's all by herself, and all of a sudden she starts having a baby while this monster comes into the house. And you know, women are allowed to scream a little bit when they're having children. Nope. And so she crawls into the bathtub, and the baby's coming, and the monster's 3 feet from her head. I'll leave it right there. It was that was the scene which I was.
It was intense.
I was like, this is some of the best writing and acting I've seen in a horror film in quite some time.
You can cry though.
Gosh, that was good. That was so good. I loved it. And it was just so. And then a baby in this world. I mean.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Of like, really?
I know.
You'd be stocking up on condoms.
There was
you
the
know?
Moses scene too, where
Exactly.
it's just like floating in the water
Yes.
almost, and then.
But I think they wanted a baby because. Maybe we'll see.
Can you kill the aliens?
We can't tell you that.
Well, you gotta watch it.
Is there like because I love Signs, and
Yeah.
I will always remember how much Signs scared me just in that one shot of the birthday party where the alien
Yes.
kind of just
Oh,
dips
yeah.
in like Bigfoot style, and I was
That
like, ah!
terrified me as a kid.
Is there something like that? Like you get to see, because when you get to kind of see a little bit of the creatures, you said they're cool.
You get to see them well later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing as great as like tension building with like signs.
Yeah.
As in, like
So
with
excited to see
at least like when it comes to revealing the creature, there's no
Yeah.
As long as I'm cool with scary movies as long as it's like it doesn't feel like it could happen like in the real world. I don't know, like that. Oh no.
Maybe.
If there's aliens, this could happen.
All right, so it was a fantastic.
Very good hearing.
I think it was a great way to kind of start the. Have we had any other really good horror movies yet this year?
Yeah.
Which
a lot.
Well, we've had a
been
lot,
a good amount.
but the standout, the ones we haven't had a Get Out.
Yeah,
yet.
well, there's no mainstream, but there's been great on like if you look from like I wouldn't even say the indie circuit,
Oh,
but I guess
Monsters.
exactly that's one of them that
That's
I
one?
thought was amazing.
Monsters.
Monsters.
It's the Chinese
It was
film. It's on
Taiwanese, yeah.
Shudder.
Oh my
So
gosh,
good.
that sounds awesome. No, but I think this is like kind of the breakout mainstream hit that's kind of like
Big
starting
blockbuster.
this. Yeah.
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 We're all horror fans here, especially you guys, you and Anthony. You guys know every obscure movie I've never heard of. That's awesome.
You guys are
Yeah, just
converting.
a heads up for like this weekend, we do have like Truth or Dare, but also Marrowbone, which is what
Yep.
I'm more looking forward to watching. It's more like a gothic tale. Yeah.
And is that okay?
I love gothic.
And you're going to talk about it on Horror Movie Weekly, right?
We're gonna talk
movie
about
news.
The Quiet Place tomorrow for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and we enjoyed the film. Let's go ahead and end our discussion on that here so we can end our show talking about Monsterpalooza, one of the largest makeup and movie monster kind of like makeup events in the country. And it's kind of cool that it's right here in Hollywood. I've never been.
I've been many times. I've been turned into a monster at Monsterpalooza many
Yeah?
times. It was one of those things that I didn't even know something like that would happen. And then right when I finished working on Face Off, it was actually the first creature I was ever turned into was at Monsterpalooza. So that was my first experience ever with prosthetics, and it's great. It's such a cool convention, and it's unlike anything I think you really any other convention, just because of the amount of just special effects, makeup, and like just statues and people who come out, because I feel like a lot of times within the film industry, you don't really give a ton of credit to the people that create these amazing visuals and all the things that scare you. And so to be able to have these people come out, talk, like literally they're there, like these amazing like makeup artists who've won Oscars are literally just there, like standing next to a bust of something that they like a creature they created that's an iconic creature, and they're like, yeah, I came up with that idea like this way and this way, and you're just like, what, like what, like, you know, you don't even think, because you don't recognize these people by their faces unless like, you're a super fan. So to just be able to kind of walk around, it's really neat, and it's gotten huge. It's the 10-year anniversary, I think, this year.
Nice.
So
And started on the East Coast, and then it moved here.
and now there's 2 here.
Right. There's this one. This is Monsterpalooza, and in the fall there's Son of Monsterpalooza, like the, Son of Frankenstein or or whatever
Oh, I
it is.
see what they did there.
Yeah. All that monster stuff. And and have you been to it, Kari?
Not yet.
This seems like it's right up your alley. I mean, because the guest list is just pretty impressive. Like Danny Trejo's going to be there. From Machete, from Dusk Till Dawn, Devil's Rejects, Tom
Spy
Payne.
Kids.
Yeah.
Oh, Spy Kids.
Yes.
Yes. There's,
Where his name was also Machete. Yeah.
There.
there's Tom Payne, who is Jesus in The Walking Dead right now.
That Jesus.
Yes, that Jesus. Elvira, of course, is going to be there. Alex Winter, Bill and Ted, and Lost Boys, and also your buddy Corey's
Corey's gonna be there?
So there's going to be a little
What
Lost
day
Boys
is
reunion.
Corey gonna be there?
Oh, this is so long. He's way down here
Okay.
somewhere.
Well, I know
I mean,
I'll stop by one day.
Linda
or
Blair is
something.
going to be there, which is
Oh,
really
jeez.
exciting. Cool.
Wow, they really have some.
I mean, the
Is
list goes
Guillermo
on.
gonna be
and
there, or
on.
his? Because I just saw the Shape of Water thing came up. So Doug Jones is usually there. That's why I met
yeah.
Doug
He's
Jones
there a
there
lot.
multiple times, and he's such. I'm so happy that they won the Oscar.
Yeah.
Even though Shape of Water was not my favorite movie, but I just am so happy a monster movie.
Doug Jones.
And Doug
It's- yeah.
Jones, he's such a.
I
he's
love
so
that. I
great.
used to be in a group that met with Doug Jones, and there was a small group of us for like about a year, and he was just like the most kind person.
so
He
kind.
really is. Yeah. And he's a hugger too.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say he'll give
I
you
was
a hug.
I was helping out on set for some little independent web series that he was making a guest appearance on. Like the way I met him, I was leaning against a wall talking to somebody in the hallway. This hand reached around the corner and started rubbing my belly, and then it turned and here was Doug Jones. Yeah, and he just stuck out his hand and introduced himself. I was like, oh, hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just imagine his hand
Hey
slithering.
there.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But in the friendly way.
wait, here we go. I just saw Shape of Water. There is a Shape of Water. The special
visual
effects,
effects,
of Shape of Water. That's pretty cool. That's Sunday from 3 until 4. They have it's pretty. Oh, Kane Hodder's going to be there, of course. From the Friday the 13th series. They have a number of movie premieres that they're
Bad
doing.
Samaritans.
wow, really?
Yeah, Bad Samaritan's going to be there. Our friend Natalie, who
I don't know if it's a premiere. I just saw it on the list, and
not
I
a
don't know if
premiere.
yeah.
Like they're
the
they
movie has
run
a
it
presence
back.
there.
Dean Devlin is making the rounds right now. The convention circuit promoting the film.
And that's Sunday, 12:30 to 1:15 p.m.
Corbin Nash, a new film, Friday, 6:30 to 8. The Terror of Hallows Eve is going to featuring original music by John Carpenter. Friday from 8 until 10. John Carpenter, by the way, you guys know that he's like this most incredible composer. Anthony, did you go to the music the thing this past Halloween?
With
John Carpenter?
oh no, I went to John Williams one.
Oh, you went to the John Williams
Oh,
one?
I went to
Yeah.
that one too.
Wow.
Yeah, we went. Me and Cheeseman and another friend. We went to John Carpenter's music on Halloween night. It was pretty amazing. It was awesome. And then, if you go to monsterpalooza.com, they have event after event after event that is happening. Oh, the making of the apes from Planet of the Apes is happening. So I don't know what that is right there.
There's a lot to look at, so check out the
Oh,
website.
Deep Blue Sea 2 is going to be there. That's pretty cool. All right, so.
A bunch of my friends are
Beetlejuice,
doing makeup.
30th anniversary.
Oh, that means V. Neal's
yeah.
gonna be there.
Yeah,
I
Beetlejuice
love
30th.
V. But yeah, a bunch of my friends are doing kind of some demos there for different companies. So they'll be creating some creepy monsters and showing off their amazing skills. So Tyler Green, Nico Gonzalez, and Kat Passion, I think, will all be there. I'm sure there's more there too that I'll just run into.
What's cool is because it seems like they're almost doing like reunions of people. Like the Rocky Horror Picture Show has a lot of cast members that are going to be there. The original 1969 black and white, not the Walking Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
The
A
other
number of cast members are going to be there from that. Lost Boys has some cast members. They have, all these.
Elvira.
Elvira's going to be
Yeah.
there. It's just a really. Here we go. It's going to be. Killer Clowns.
Have you
from
guys
Outer
ever met
Space.
Elvira? It's insane that this woman looks as good as she does.
She
still.
got
Last
a picture
year.
of me once. I was dressed up like Abraham from Walking Dead with a bat to my head, and then she saw me and she like waved somebody over.
Her
Like, go take
handler.
a picture of that guy, because I'm gonna send it to.
So she
Yeah.
sent it over to Greg Nicotero, a picture of Cheeseman dressed up.
Nice.
Which is kind of cool. Is there anything any kind of like insider tips that people should know about this, or
Gosh, because
you're usually like in a
I
chair,
know
right?
I'm usually in a chair and I'm usually walking around as a monster, so I'm taking pictures with people the entire time I'm there.
Yeah.
So I don't have a ton of insider tips. I just know it gets crowded.
Yeah.
So it gets pretty crowded. So go early. And to really kind of get your lay of the land, and then you can, I don't know, whenever I go to cons, I try to get the lay of the land early when there's not as very many people, and then later, then I go back and get and buy what I want. But yeah, get there early.
And it's at the Pasadena Convention Center.
Oh, they've moved it.
Yeah.
It used to be in Burbank.
Wait, let me make sure. I may be giving the complete wrong information.
I think they did move it, though.
I think they moved it.
You're right.
Pasadena
probably
Convention
good.
Center,
Yeah.
yeah.
It used to be in Burbank, right? Pasadena.
But it was at the airport Marriott, right?
Yep. It was that.
So they've really upped it this year.
It must be giant
Yeah.
this year because, I mean, I just remember it started bursting at the seams with at the Burbank place. So yeah, no, I'm just really happy for this industry and for just I think special effects, just for people to get behind them and behind kind of the whole monster world again. It's great. And yeah.
What's kind of cool, the thing that does set this convention apart is that there are a number of horror conventions across the country, but this one specifically is specializing in the makeup effects
Yeah.
and the special effects that go into making these films. And especially here being in Hollywood, it's great to see that Hollywood is taking great care to showcase what they're doing. Practical effects.
Yeah, practical effects,
yes.
which I wish there was more of it used today and
Yeah.
film. And I think as VFX is getting more expensive, I think we're going to be coming back to kind of a resurgence of special effects, and I'm excited
Alright.
for more
Okay.
people to
Yeah.
be embracing
so.
special effects.
On
so
that
too.
topic, we need to give a shout out because you mentioned that you had done Face Off.
Yes.
And my friend RJ Hattie was a finalist on season 2. And by the way, if you listen to this, RJ, you need to come visit us and come be on this podcast and do Monsterpalooza again.
He's a sweetheart. He
really
worked
is.
I worked on a season of Face Off with him. Yeah.
And I'd love to see him come back and get into this as more practical effects.
You should have him turn you into a monster.
That'd be awesome.
Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight on the Scare Guys show. We had a lot of fun. I hope a lot of you will see you down there at Monsterpalooza this weekend. If not, then maybe join us next Monday night when we're going to be talking about the season finale of The Walking Dead and the season premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. It's going to be a big night. The big
Yeah.
crossover happens there. We're going to have our special guests, Jill and Brendan, who are last season's ultimate fans on Fear...
Talking Dead.
Talking Dead. So many dead words here. So I can't always get them. So they're always a lot of fun to talk to. So anyways, if you want to find out more information about us, you can go check out theconguy.com and thescareguy.com. So we are thescareguy.com, which is the scarier side of theconguy.com. You can find me at ScareGuy where can you find me? At Conguy Jim, or you can find me at the ScareGuy. You're in charge of social media. Where can they find us, Cheeseman?
You can find us on the ScareGuy.com, and this guy, Con Guy Jim's his personal Twitter.
Sorry, I was getting a little bit confused there. Yeah, so
It's okay, Jim.
It's late.
Carrie, where can we find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me online.
Save me,
Kari
please.
D. Lane. That's Karidlane.
and always you can find her finding free parking at any of these conventions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she's one of
I'm
those,
a
you're one of those
master.
lucky partners.
Yeah, she
It's
is.
a
Even
game to me.
Comic-Con.
Oh, girl.
Okay.
Stop. You guys can find me all over the interwebs at Keetin Marchi, and thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for
Thanks for
coming.
coming.
So much fun.
That's awesome.
Hi, Derek Sams. You can find me on the Con Guy Comic Con Prep Show. We'll have another one next Monday night.
Yep.
And on Twitter at Con Guy Derek.
And I'm Cheeseman on the Couch. You can find me at Cheese on Couch. And also on the ScareGuy.com. Make sure you go to the ScareGuy.com. We'll have more information about the things that we're talking about. So if you're looking for more stuff on Monsterpalooza, more stuff like Linda Blair's going to be there, and like so many great guests.
We will have the Survivor's Guide for Monsterpalooza this weekend. So many good things to do. I hope you guys do go down there. And again, I've not been drinking tonight. It's just late. And I'm so excited about everything that's going on. Happy halfway to
Yes.
Halloween in 3 weeks, guys. And have a great scare season. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.